monkey. It's time to check the mic. It's time to check the mic. I'm neurotic. It's time to check the mic. We're going to check the mic. Come on. Come on. I sure wish that this would just load and show up for me. That would be fucking sick. So that way I can make sure that my audio is coming through correctly. I know that it is, but I can't not. There we go. Fantastic. Mazel fucking tov. I just really wanted to play Bloons today. I'm currently marching my way through the levels, getting all the medals. So that's what I'm going to do. If somebody wants to watch it, that's cool. And if they don't, I don't care. I just want monkey. Monkey. Let's do alternate Bloon rounds. Let's also turn the music up so I can fucking hear literally anything. Let's do it. We're going to drop our free glue monkey first. And then you always start with a ninja monkey. Always start with a ninja monkey. Because ninja monkeys target camo balloons. You don't have to upgrade anything. These are the hard levels. We're going to lose a couple lives here at the beginning while I get my setup ready, but I ain't really care. See? Camo balloons right there. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, I've been playing other games recently, and I got back into this Bloons kick last night, and I just can't stop playing Bloons. There's just monkey. I'm also super down to play with viewers. Can't be the first map on Impoppable. Do you want to play together? I can get you to that level on Impoppable. Because I am an adventurer. Oh, shit. I forgot about lead balloons. 99 lead balloons. That's okay. We'll get all of the ones about the lead balloons this round. That's okay. We want stickier glue. I've completed all the levels at least once. I'm trying to get all the whatever. Get to around 95 and it all goes to poop. Oh, you're playing House Flipper 2? I saw that pop up in my Steam. Can't say I blame you. I hear that House Flipper is a lot of fun. I played one of them on the Xbox for a little while. It was a pretty good time. Let's see. The submarine monkey. Because we want advanced intel. Because that means that this guy will shoot over here the whole time. And they're homing darts, so. It just froze your whole computer, so you had to restart it. I didn't think it was that taxing. Do stronger glue. Uh-oh. Oh, that camo lead balloon's gonna fuck me up. That's okay. Camo. Lead. There we go. Yeah, I know Advanced Intel doesn't work with snipers. It's lame. I hate it. It gives me the big sad. That's okay. I also run with Azili because she can automatically see camo balloons. And not only can she automatically see camo balloons, but she also can target Moabs and ZOMGs and all the other ones. And she can destroy them in one go. And they don't turn into the smaller ones. It rules. Also, I'm using ATN because you'll give radar to everyone. That's ATN is who Dan mains. I can't say that it's a bad call. One of the things I've been working on really hard lately is doing druid circles and ninja groups. Fuck. There we go. Go between a bunch of the druids you made. Same. I like druid circles and ninja groups because they just buff each other. Also, a real big fan of the alchemist, just being able to buff dudes. It rules. I need to unlock Pop Lust, so that way my lightning druid goes faster. And then I take one of you and put one of you guys here. I also just really love lightning. Lightning is such a good ability. And of course, I love the engineer because it's just like, oh yeah, well, here's a bunch of just towers. And a bunch of towers that do extra damage to Moabs. Okay. Oh, we're thrashing them. Let's do another lightning monkey there. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that saved me just then. I don't really go in much for super monkeys, honestly. Like, I might get one and give him, like, the Dark Knight upgrade. That's about it. Yeah, unless saving at them earlier, they're absolutely pointless. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's give you Pop Lust and then that guy will go twice as fast. And then give you another Shinobi guy. Yeah. Then I think I'm going to go for Bloon Jutsu. Who doesn't like a little bit of Bloon Jutsu? Yeah, look how fast this guy throws now. Just absolutely destroying these dudes. Then I guess I'll go Caltrips on you too. Like, do you want one of each branch combo? That's fair. Let's see. Yeah, I want the middle one. Oh, okay. That was close. All right, let's slow things down and take another sub. Twin guns, triple guns, advanced intel, perfect. You're attacking first. We'll have you attack last. Let's do it. These armor-piercing darts on this guy, too. There we go. It's a little better. Let's see, we'll have you go deadly precision. A little bit extra damage to Moabs. Ooh, that guy cannot see. There we go. It says camos that'll get you. There we go. There we go. Hey. Oh, I've collected presents. Okay. Hell yeah, brother. All right. Then we got unpoppable and double HP Moabs. Let's do double HP Moabs. Okay, we obviously start with the free monkey. And then I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, we're just gonna start like we did last time. And I think I might put down an insta monkey as well. Yeah. Yeah. This guy. Right here. Do boomerang and spike towers? That's not a bad call. I can start with my super monkey though because I have him saved. I probably should have saved him for unpoppable, but I don't care. I also almost never go for corrosive glue, I've noticed. Because I'd rather have them debuff in a large area than have them pop balloons. I've also been pretty into these beast tamers lately. They're pretty fun. Because I can just be like, put the piranha in the water. And the piranha's in the water. I put him right there in the water. He's a good boy. Then you can get a little micro raptor and put this guy right here. And then you get like a circle of beast tamers. They pair really well with the druids. Corrosive Glue and Relentless Cookies, Specs, Mobs, and other big ones. Oh, okay. I might have to try that. So I like bigger globs, glue, splatter, and then the bottom tier for stickier, stronger, relentless. Because it slows them down and all my other monkeys go for it. Let's see. I gotta upgrade this guy to an Atosaurus so he can pop lead. There we go. Actually, have you guys go for strong, because neither of you can pop lead. And then we go for the druids. Where can I fit the most druids? I think right here is good. Hard thorns, thorn swarm. This guy right here, this guy's my money maker, because he's the one who I'm pushing into the top tier. The lightning druid. Top bottom tier for my favorite go-to for passive popping. For which one? I think I'll be able to fit for Glue Monkey. I think I'll be able to fit 5 guys here. Because all these guys are going for Pop Lust. Jungle's Bounty is really good. I just never do that one thing. You know the one thing. I never do banana farms. I can see, like, if you want to go for like a really, really, really long run, I can see banana farm. I get it. But it's not for me, dog. I'm trying to get the medals and get out. Okay, I'm going to put this village right here. Because I want the radar scanner. There we go. That solves that problem. We're going full into the Druid of Wrath down here for these guys. Let's see. And I need, what, 2,700 times 6. So I need like 18,000, a little less than 18,000. I think I can probably get by with what I've got. I just want to get this guy maxed out in the Druid of Wrath. I think that would be sick. And I think that my Robo Monkey will make up for the fact that these guys can't see camo. Hopefully. Oh, it's because he's pushing him backwards. Okay. I was like, why? Why is this happening? And just this guy being able to drop crits feels really good. Because that'll just chew through the Moabs. Okay, it's almost time for the fucking. Okay. Pop lust. Yes. Perfect. Let's strap a village, bigger radius. And then I'll throw down this radar scanner, and that'll really, really be a good time. Boom. Full druid circle. Everyone's throwing lightning. These guys will just keep attacking and just keep getting faster and faster at attacking. Oh, I guess I can drop my hero down too. Lol. It's just so much lightning. Want that mob glue. Want that mob glue. I want it. 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 It is me. I am the Doctor of Volcanoes. Dude, the balloon slaying's going real well. I'm doing some metal hunting. Which is where I'm just trying to get all of the levels completed. I've got 2 of them completely done all the way through, and so I'm just going for the rest. How you doing, Ren? What's going on? Relentless glue. Okay, now I just need ball lightning on this guy. Jesus. A little tired too, trying to make traps puzzles for my one shot, but that was pretty good. Hell yeah, brother. What kind of what kind of traps you coming up with? I like a good trap. Also, in about 20 seconds, it's going to go to a mandatory ad if it hasn't happened already. It's just, it only tells me like once a stream, even though it's supposed to tell me every time that it does it. Times real struggles with it. Can't think of a lot since it's mostly dungeon long corridors with rooms, possible enemies. Long corridors. Yes, I turned the game audio off. I can turn it up a little bit if you want to hear it. I don't know if that'll help. It's just real. It gets to be where there's like a lot of the popping noise and a lot of the sound effects happening all at once. Oh, yeah, you're good. Okay, so here's my suggestion for long corridors. I'll wait until the ad break is over, and I'll tell you what my suggestion for corridors is. Okay, so my suggestion for long corridors is having the walls. I also lose my cursor constantly. Is having the walls close like a smoosh. Having the ceiling drop like a smoosh. Then there's having the floor drop out into pits of spikes. Then there's having the floor drop into a slide. So like it drops down and then slides, so they slide backwards into a different section of dungeon. And you can have monsters or traps in that room too. Another good one is it's a pressure plate, and they step on the pressure plate, and a blade it drop, like the whole floor drops down, and then a blade comes out to hamstring them. That's a good one. And then for rooms full of enemies, oh no, you don't gotta write any of it. I'm just throwing out some ideas. In rooms full of enemies, I would suggest remember that enemies will set up alarms, like having like a big bell or something, or like a piece of metal, like a helmet even, and then when the door opens, the like a piece of wood has been like held under tension, and then when the drums in the deep, when the door opens, it whacks the helmet or the bell or whatever and alerts the monsters so they can't get surprise, because it'll immediately ruin surprise. There's also what are they called? Arrow traps. Oh, dude, those a couple of those are my idea, and a couple of those are directly from my dad. All right, so this half cash is gonna kick my ass. Actually, hold on, I might have some Insta Monkeys. I do have some Insta Monkeys. Let's do a 400 sniper, and then we'll just make them real fast. Arrow traps, falling spike traps, deadfall traps for like logs. Like they hit a tripwire and it just drops logs or bits of armor or, used weapons, rocks, that kind of stuff. There's a story from an old Dragon magazine where the only enemies in the dungeon, and it was from a tournament too, the only enemies in the dungeon were kobolds, but the kobolds wore plate mail and would push piles of burning trash onto the party. Just like out of like rooms and stuff, just like push the trash onto them. So they're taking fire damage and they got to get out of the trash. That's a good one. Because remember, like, you can play your enemies smart even if they're not technically that smart. Like, I have, like, okay, so like in my game, I do goblins get really militant when they're paired with hobgoblins. Goblins by themselves will set simple traps, pitfalls, that kind of stuff. But then they pair with the more militant hobgoblins, and then they get more militant. They do things more easily. I would look at Vietnam era traps like the Viet Cong used. Those are good for outside. And now the only one I have for certain is like a very clear Souls-like pressure plate in the center of a walkway and opens a wind tunnel. I have to do a deck save to not get thrown into a pit. That's a good one. There's also remember, any sort of like simple machine works really well. Like things under tension work really well. They open a door and maybe it doesn't hit. Maybe it doesn't set off like an alarm. Maybe it a big like claw spike trap comes out, like a board with nails on it just goes whap and like whacks into whoever opens the door. And maybe they got to make a deck save to get out of the way or whatever, which will make them really, really, really ungodly cautious. If they're not checking every 15 or 20 feet after the first trap, and they're not checking for traps on doors and stuff, then they're not learning. They should be cautious and they should be careful and they should be trying to get in as quickly and as quietly as possible. Like if they've got like the hit points and the armor for it, then sure, go in guns blazing. But one of the things that we learned in my dad's game, oh whoops, I don't have anybody to deal with camo. One of the things that we learned in my dad's game, because my dad's been DMing the same game for almost 50 years now, is caution and using your abilities, making it so that way everybody in the party has a role. Let people use their skills. Let people know that they can use their skills. One thing I like to do, I don't know how long your party has been going or how long the people you're playing with have been playing. One of the things I like to do is I send an NPC, a higher level NPC with the party. And the higher level NPC gives them a couple of the ideas so that way they can like, oh, right, I can do that. I can think about that sort of thing. I can, we can do that. Like I remember really distinctly, the party in my game was going into a temple of Camazotz, and it was full of undead. And the Camazotz is the Aztec bat god, by the way. And they were like, oh my god, there's so many undead in there. What are we going to do? Well, they hooked up with this higher level fighter type. And he was like, okay, well, let's take, jars of flaming oil and that kind of stuff. And they were like, well, what are we gonna do with that? Well, we're gonna fucking kill hordes of undead with it is what we're gonna do. And so they lured the undead into or onto a staircase, because the undead are mindless. You know, only higher level undead are able to. Oh shit. Only higher level undead are able to think. So it was like zombies and skeletons and a couple other weaker types of undead. So they lured them onto a staircase and just coated the staircase in oil, and they walked into the fire, and they didn't have to do any fighting. And they've remembered that, and they're still doing stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, can we use oil? Can we use our abilities? Can we cast spells that, you know, open an area up to be able to do that sort of thing with? Or, and you always got to keep them on their toes every time. At least in my experience, in my opinion. I like to start slow. Not because I think that people are stupid and like can't. Oh shit. Not because I think people are stupid and like can't keep up or anything like that, but I want people to have a good time, and I have played a lot with a lot of new players. Like 90% of the people I've played with have been new, like brand new, have never played a tabletop game or a role-playing game like this in their life. And so like I want to start slow, and I limit like what kind of abilities they can start with and what kind of abilities they just get. And I implemented training, which is like a first edition idea. Can we battle magic fireball this area without knowing the dimension is accurate? Exactly. And I implemented training because in 5th, because those are that's the edition that we play as 5th. I implemented this training mechanic so that way new players don't get overwhelmed, because even in this like I've been playing with the same group for a little while now, and they still forget what abilities they have and what to do and like how to do stuff. And there are so many goddamn abilities in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So, you know, if they don't get them all at once, then they can work up to it and remember and think about, oh, right, and then I can do this. And I had to pay, I had to pay actual treasure for these abilities. You know, like the whole reason that we went out to fight these guys was to get the money so I could train, so I could level. Oh, I really fucked that, didn't I? I should have put down some more ninja monkeys. That was my B. Brand new group that's never played with each other, and a few have never played at all. Yeah, I would take it nice and easy, nice and slow. Be prepared for people to argue with you. Be prepared for people to ask lots and lots of questions. And one of the things that I've been learning playing with the group that I play with on Wednesdays is like, don't worry about the nitty gritty of the rules, right? Be like, hey, what moves the game forward? What keeps us playing? You know? We were doing something, and our DM didn't have, because I'm not DMing on Wednesdays, which is really nice because I've been forever DM for like 20 years. Our DM didn't have something for whatever, and we were like, oh, okay, well, what about this? And he was like, cool, house rule, and that was it. That was the long and short of it, and he said, okay, cool, that works, and we moved on. And that's really just that easy, you know? Like, I like the way that sounds. Boom, house rule. And if you have to retcon it later, retcon it. Who cares? You're playing a game. You're trying to have fun. I also firmly believe that it is about having fun, and that it can't just be about the player fun either. It's got to be partway fun between the players and partway fun between the DM. Ooh, I got a little hairy. Half cash always kicks my ass. And so, like, you know, it's got to be fun for the people playing, and it's also going to be fun for the person running the game. I personally, as a DM, have fun keeping track of everything, writing lore, coming up with, you know, I've talked about, like, the story is driven by the players. The story doesn't happen to the players. And I like having fun coming up with lore and coming up with reasons for things and coming up with all this stuff. And I want the players to do what they want to do. I want them to have fun. I want it to be fun for me telling the story. You know, I want the players to meet me halfway between, like, what do you want to do? What do I think is possible? You know, I want you to respect the rules that I've put down in the game and respect my calls, my decisions, because I'm not trying to ruin your fun. I'm trying to keep people engaged. I'm trying to keep people rolling dice. I'm trying to keep people using their abilities, you know. And I you know, it's just this whole balancing act of trying to keep everything fun. It's trying, you know, I'm just trying to keep everything fun for them and for me. Just really like D&D, man. Oh, I also recommend looking at other game systems. I love Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons is my favorite game. But there are other game systems. There's GURPS. There's Pathfinder. There's Traveler. There's Zweihander. There's Blackbirds. There are games upon games upon games to play and to look at. And all of them work differently, and all of them are unique and have interesting ideas and things to offer. And I highly recommend looking at these games for inspiration, for ideas. Even if you don't use their system at the core, then I would say, you know, look at their ideas. You know, like the game system GURPS. You sound like a fun DM. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Some people think so. Some people are adamant that I don't know what I'm talking about. And that's okay, because for them, I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't play the same way that anybody else plays. I play the way I play, and that's how I play. So anyway, there's this game system called GURPS, which is it's an acronym for Generic Universal Role-Playing System. And if you make a character in GURPS, it's all based on percentiles, so D10s. And then your characters aren't they're not constrained to a what's the word? Oh fuck, I'm gonna lose. Fuck. They're not constrained to a genre. So, like, you can make a fantasy character and a sci-fi character. Like, I just recently bought a 3rd edition GURPS manual that is nothing but, what is it called? Ultratech. So they have these rules for high technology. No, I'm gonna lose again. Nope, I didn't. Okay. So like ungodly high technology, right? It's like, hey, we have, you know, like here's super blood that brings people back to life, like in Wrath of Khan, the remake of Wrath of Khan. You know, like that kind of shit. And they've got rules for vehicles of all kinds, and they've got rules for just, you know, like everything you could possibly imagine. Oh, is this where I lose? No. And, you know, I've got these manuals for that, and they are super interesting, and I've implemented ideas from GURPS into D&D, because I'm using D&D as my baseline, and then amalgamating other things onto it. And I know people that use GURPS as their baseline, and then amalgam other things onto that. Okay, there we go. And, you know, it's just sort of like, you know, it's like you gotta find your balance, you gotta find what works. Any new monster source for that game you're helping with? Yeah. I'm working on one for a type of vampire from India. It's a they tell riddles, and they stay in an area with humans until there are no humans left in the area. There's see what else. I'm working on one for some little not vampires, some little dragons from Roman mythology that are small and venomous. And like that's their whole shtick, is that they're venomous. I'm trying to get like I'm trying to work my way between like bestial monsters and intelligent monsters, because like there's a lot to be said for like, oh, I'm Count Strahd from Ravenloft, and I am smart and suave and blah, and I have this like villain thing. But there's also a lot to be said for like having like a dinosaur, right? And like that's all it is. And like to people who have no concept of what a dinosaur is, then it's like, well, it's a dragon that doesn't breathe fire, you know? And like that kind of thing. Oh no, Twitch is dying on your end? That's okay. I appreciate the help, or the views, but if it's not working, that's okay. Yeah, and if you can't find something that works for you, make your own. Exactly. I have written so many home rules. I really like writing home rules. Homebrew is the only way that I play D&D. I've got my ideas. I got ideas out of the book. I've got ideas from other books. I've got rules that I've taken from other things. You know, I've did all kinds of stuff. My friend Dan Fox has said that all game design starts in your game. Anytime that you make a rule change, or anytime that you homebrew, you have become a game designer. That's how it works. And I really like that philosophy. Sort of big rule change you run with. I mean, I got a lot. I got a lot of rule changes. I've had to change a lot of fifth for my own purposes. Let's see. Well, there's training, obviously. That's not book standard in fifth. I've got the artificer is different in my game. The artificer isn't a magical creator. The artificer is a mad scientist. They deal almost exclusively with natural phenomena. They don't do magic at all. They don't get spell slots. They don't identify magic items. They fuck my ass. They, I forgot about lead balloons. They, just aren't, they're not magical. Because there are so many magic casting classes and so much magical bullshit in fifth that I hate making one more. You know, it's like, oh, everybody gets spell slots, everybody casts spells, everybody does this. It's like, okay, well, I want them to feel unique, so they're more about creating natural phenomena and using quote unquote real science. You can do fantastical things with it, but they do quote unquote real science. I've come up with my own system of runes for rune knights. I 150,000% co-opted some rules for from a book series called the Rune Lords, which is actually unrelated to the runes that I was talking about. So like I think it's Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It could be Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I can't remember. But in one of those books, there's rules for Rune Knight in that book, and they it's a fighter subclass, and they get the ability to inscribe certain runes on their weapons and armor and that kind of stuff, and it gives them different abilities, but it's a super lacking like subclass. They essentially get like, you can increase your strength for like 2 minutes, and you get a couple interesting abilities that are super limited and you can barely do anything with, and it's like, but why though? So I've come up with my own system for that, but I've also got the this thing from this book series called the Rune Lords by a guy named David Farland. And in that book series, the people have a magic system called rune magic, where you take the attributes from one person and give them to another person. So you there's like blessings of brawn, sight, stamina, grace, metabolism, glamour, which is like your physical beauty, like just like that sort of thing, and you can up your stats with them like beyond 25. One of the guys in the game right now has he's got like a 35 constitution because they did some stuff for a group of dudes and got some runes out of it, and then went through a magical ritual, and 2 guys bestowed their stamina onto one of the characters, which makes those guys lose their stamina until they die, or the guy who has their runes dies. So like they're basically invalid, and they have no will, like they can't move on their own anymore, and they get sick really easy and have like a 2% chance every month to die from an illness because they can get sick so easily. And but with a 35 constitution, this character can literally regenerate like a troll. He regenerates like 3 hit points a round, or like 4 hit points a round. And he's immune to poison. He doesn't need to sleep and that kind of stuff. And all of the runes do something like that, where there's a plus and a minus to it. You know, it's like you have to take the you have to take the attributes of your dedicates, is what they're called, or because they dedicate their abilities to you. You have to take the attributes of your dedicate. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. And it's a little gruesome, you know. Like people that give their strength literally can't move. People who give their stamina can't, get sick really easy and die from like the common cold. People who give their grace, which is their dexterity, their bodies become rigid, and they can't like unclench basically. People who give their glamour become horrifically ugly. People who give their metabolism fall into a coma. You know, it's like stuff like that. So you have to be okay with this give and take for the characters. And yeah, so I adapted that from this book series into D&D because I just liked it so much. I actually highly recommend that book series. I found it on accident because it's included with my Audible subscription, and I was listening to audiobooks a lot when I was working at my last job, and they're included with my Audible subscription, and I was just like, I'll take a chance on these. It's whatever. I don't expect anything good out of them. I've never heard of this series before, and I just can't get enough of them. I've read all of them. I bought physical copies of them. I like them so much. They're not like the best written books I've ever read, but they're interesting and they're fun and they're written at least mostly well. They don't make me want to poke my eyes out. They're so boring or terrible. But yeah, I've got some interesting rule changes that work for me. I've got lore reasons as to why dwarves and halflings can't be wizards. I've got lore reasons for why the elves can't be warlocks. people who are tieflings or dragonborn look mostly human, because for lore purposes, if you look like a lizard man, people are gonna kill you, because lizard men eat people and they can't tell the difference between lizard men and dragonborn at a glance. My world sounds fun. I appreciate that. I've worked on it for a long time. I started putting together the campaign that I'm running right now almost 10 years ago. And I've been playing it because I did a bunch of pre-planning for this game. And I've been actually, like, I pre-planned this game for, like, shit, baby, 2 or 3 years before I ever played it. And I have been playing it for probably 6 or 7 years now. So you know, I've got a lot of stuff to work on, and the world that this campaign is set on, it's my very first world from when I was a kid, writing my first D&D campaign. Because I did a lot of work on that stuff when I was a kid, and I never really found anything that I liked, but I kept all of my notes for everything. So I've been working things that I came up, like ideas that I had when I was like 11. I've been working into my games since then. And, you know, it's one of the things that I'm just really, really, really passionate about, because I love it. It's just fun for me. I'm telling stories with my friends. I'm hanging out with my friends. That kind of stuff. I can drop some lore on you if you want. The campaign world is it's set on lore me daddy. The campaign world is set on Earth, like our Earth. But human history occurs all the way up to the Dark Ages. And then a little guy called King Arthur shows up. And King Arthur and Camelot are a thing. And then the quest for the Holy Grail comes around. And they go look for the Holy Grail. Well, they find it. And the Holy Grail turns out to not be the cup of Christ. The Holy Grail is an alien supercomputer that gives them wild knowledge, how to access the energy of the universe, magic, how to create technology beyond their wildest dreams, how to do things. You know, it's this little thing that's vaguely in the shape of a cup. That's why they call it the Grail. And it's been on Earth for a long time. Like a long time. Like it actually is the cup of Christ, because Jesus is supposed to, in the game world, Jesus is supposed to have been a real guy and has got a hold of it, and that's where the miracles came from. And he couldn't explain what he was doing, but Merlin figures out what it is and how it works, and they do that. So peace reigns on Earth and under King Arthur, who becomes functionally immortal at this point, because they've got that kind of technology. And they uh-oh. Oh no, there we go. They start, you know, like they don't conquer, they bring their technology to everyone. And they only give things to people who want them. And obviously there are some bad guys here and there who try to like conquer and take things over, but King Arthur lets people basically rule themselves, and is this guy who is just like, all right, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna do this. We have this responsibility to not totally overrule and override other people's and their cultures and that kind of stuff. Which totally goes 100% against what the British actually did. But for me, I like to think that if they had access to this technology and stuff and saw that the universe was this infinite thing where people, you know, could actually create a utopia, that they would. Because it's fantasy. Oh, this might be the end. Oh, it's the end. Okay, that's all right. I have the money to continue. And so then 10,000 years goes by, and peace reigns on Earth for 10,000 years, and then they discover that there is more than just their realm of existence. They discover that there are other planes of existence and other realities, like a whole multiverse Phase 4 Marvel thing. And they start exploring that and checking it out. Well, then they come to find that they're people and things and creatures that exist on other planes are not always super chill dudes. And that's when they start running into things like demons. And they, some people get tempted by the demons. And that's where they start to run into these like great old one type things, like Cthulhu type guys. And some people start making deals with them and for more knowledge and that sort of stuff. And it leads to an absolute breakdown of the fabric of reality. God damn it. It leads to an absolute breakdown of the fabric of reality. And they have what in game terms I call the War of the Planes, where they start, you know, like fighting. And all of these realities crash into each other. And they have this thing that essentially works like the conjunction of the spheres from The Witcher, except it's not that, because I was writing it before I knew what The Witcher was. For me, I was rather thinking it was more like from The Dark Crystal instead of The Witcher. But everybody always draws the Witcher parallel, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. That explains where you get all of these different groups existing together that wouldn't technically evolutionarily be able to exist together. And then the game is set 10,000 years after, or the game is set about 1,000 years after the War of the Planes and the destruction of everything. And that's the general gist of the thing. Oh, this is the end. Son of a bitch. Fucking impoppable, dude. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to do impoppable right now. I'm just not. So we're gonna start on easy here and work our way up through the next level. So yeah, that's the basic lore of the game. It has almost no bearing on what's happening in the game, but yours is much simpler. It's almost lame. Nah, dude. I bet your thing is not nearly as lame. Not nearly as lame as you think it is. Fucking impoppable, man. Round 98. This is why you need to create an economy with the banana farms. Because I would have had more money for more dudes. I could have probably created 2 druid circles. I'm always interested in learning people's lore for their games. Because I like to see how other people think. Like, what do you think is interesting? What do you find intriguing? What kind of mythology do you like? That sort of stuff. Because I always find that people, even people that you wouldn't necessarily think have interesting ideas, everybody comes up with something interesting, you know? Number with only humans, the entire kind of phase of existence brings with it elves. They bring magic into the world, and other races and creatures. All the races abuse the magic. The elves get racist. Leave back to their continent. Lock it down so no one can go there. So any trace of CC. Dude, that's pretty interesting. I would play that game. I also in the area of my game that they're playing in right now, oh no, I guess I see these there. In the area of my game they're in right now, the elves of this area are also racist because everybody likes racist elves. The elves are the reason that orcs exist in the way they do in this particular area, because the earth that they're on, the earth that the game is set on, they shit. Wow, I'm losing on easy. They the natives of this version of Earth, because it's not our Earth that the game takes place on. Everything settles on a different parallel universe of Earth. The orcs and the dwarves are the 2 native groups. And they used to not exactly exist in harmony with each other, but they existed they coexisted with each other, and the elves, when they show up, they start conquering because they have better magic than the orcs do, and the dwarves don't have magic other than priest magic because they're magic resistant. And so they can't get a hold of the dwarves. They get a hold of some of the dwarves, and that's where you get Dwergar. But they get a hold of a bunch of the orcs, and the orcs get genetically mutated and twisted and fucked up real bad, like in Lord of the Rings. And so you've got these guys who are what are called like true orcs, who are basically just people. And then you have the orcs that you think of like green skin, tusks, kill and eat people and that sort of stuff, and it's because of the elves. And the words that I have words. They exist. No, it's gone now. I forgot what I was saying. But essentially, it's just I like to have reasons for why there are groups of people who wouldn't exist evolutionarily together. Like I forgot what I was saying again. Shit. I was reading what my things were doing, and I was just like, fuck, I had the thing about D&D I was talking about. And it's gone now. But yeah, D&D's fun. It's a good time. Oh, I also I have this this character. He's an NPC that runs around. He's called Red Logan. And he's my essentially he's like my Gandalf type character. And he's mysterious and rides around on this huge black horse and does things. And people are like, oh, Red Logan, if you've only heard half of what I've heard, and I haven't heard very much, you'd be like, wow, I'm ready for anything. When you hear a story about Red Logan. He's from Mars. The reason he's called Red Logan is because he has actually red skin. Because I like the John Carter of Mars books, and he's a red man of Mars, who crash landed on Earth, and can't get home, and so he's running around, trying to do stuff, and the men of Mars evolved from plants into a sentient, so vaguely mammalian race. And he lives for a really long, like they live for like a ridiculously long time. And he's been around for a long time because he crash landed on Earth like 600 years. No. Yeah, no, yeah. So it's like he crash landed on Earth like like 460 years prior to the events of the game, and has just been running around stuck in mythology, or stuck in the mythology and the lore of the game since then. And the parties heard a little bit about him, and people are like warning them about, like, you know, if Logan's around, you got to be careful, man. Like that guy, like people go missing when he's around, like shit happens. And like Logan is a good guy, but he's ruthless and really wants people to stop fighting with each other, and really wants people to focus on the fact that there are actual fucking monsters in the world to kill and to deal with. And I partially got the idea because like I wanted like a Gandalf character because like I love Lord of the Rings, but there's a book series, because I take a lot of inspiration from the fantasy series that I read, called The Warlock, which is about this character whose name I never fucking remember, who is he's a guy from another planet, from like this federation of like humans and whatever. No, you're good. Yeah, well, he's not chaotic neutral. He's chaotic good. And he is willing to go to some extremes for the cause of good. Let's see, what am I starting with? 20,000, but I can't get anywhere. Okay. You hear Bear Globs. Moab Glue. You go here. Juggernaut with very quick shots. Iseelie right here. And then we'll do tax sprayer right there, because I love the tax sprayer. This is essentially just a setup I've been using the whole time for this. And then I'll put... Do I want a monkey village? No, I don't really care about a monkey village. Well, let's see what I need. So yeah, there's this book series called The Warlock, and so this guy is from like a federation of humans who are trying to not like conquer the universe, or like not like conquer the world or anything like that, but they're trying to like sort of like Star Trek their way through everything. And they send this guy down as like an emissary, and he gets like stuck or whatever. And then he has this big black horse that he rides around on, and like he's never seen like without his horse. And as you get into the book series, you come to find out that the horse is actually a robot that connects and like interfaces with his ship that's in orbit. And I really like that idea, and that's what Logan rides, is a big robotic black horse. And he masquerades as a wizard. But he's actually a psionicist. He's got mind powers and has no idea how magic works. Like, he's done research in the last couple 100 years, but they don't have magic like they have on Earth, on Mars. So, you know, in the last however many years, Hold on. Okay, sorry. Responding to texts. What was I saying? Logan. Red Logan. He has only learned like how magic works vaguely in the last couple hundred years on Earth, because he's been alive long enough to like research it and learn stuff about it. But he other than that, he's just kind of like, you wave your hands and you do the thing and you say some stuff and shit happens. That's fucking weird, man. Anyway, so I'm going to focus my brain on this and my will is going to explode this guy. And I've been really dissatisfied with the 5th edition take on any amount of psionicism. So I've been writing my own rules for that. Oh, just in time for an ad. Hell yeah. Says I got about 12 seconds left on the ad.
Monkey.
Hey, Dan. All right, Ren, what was the last thing that you heard? If you're still interested, because I'll repeat things if you want me to. Suavemente. Just like, I would get up and shake my ass at the camera, but they just re-updated their tasteful nudity stuff. Came back to a red man, waved his hands, and didn't fully understand magic. Yeah, so Red Logan is from Mars, doesn't understand how magic works. And he rides a giant black robotic horse that interfaces with his spaceship. And he can't get his spaceship to work because they don't have the materials, or they don't have the means of making the materials on Earth that he needs to repair his ship. And he doesn't have enough knowledge about how to repair his ship to do that, even if he had the means. So yeah, that's some fun lore from the old D&D campaign. Yeah, I saw that they were like, you know, tasteful, artful nudity is okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And then people were like, oh, all right, well, let's take that and run with it on this platform that has lots and lots of minors on it. Because, like, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with nudity. I don't care. Right? I literally don't give a shit. If people are walking around naked, I don't care. But some people are real sensitive to that sort of thing. So, and like there are like a lot of minors and stuff, and I think that if Twitch were to set it up so that way you had to like verify your age or something to get into those streams, that might be one thing. I don't know. It seems like it was like a really half-cocked, half-baked idea that they just did not think about. 70% user base under 17, wrong site for that. I mean, yeah, and like, I understand. I don't know, because like, I think for me personally, if people aren't doing sexual acts, it doesn't bother me that much because there's nothing wrong with nudity. And if they walled it behind like a real verification, like you have to be 18 to see this stuff, then that would be fine. But, you know, you're going to get some, you know, 8-year-old seeing overly sexual things. And, like, so there's nothing inherently sexual about the human body because it just isn't. But, you know, people are going to make it sexual and it's going to become a sexual thing. And then you're going to have children interacting with these people who are doing sexual things. And it's just a whole can of worms that they did not think about and that they were not prepared for. But anyway, if there was like a Twitch after dark button that you could press, that would be okay, I think. I'm gonna put you right here this time. I'm gonna put you on strong. Given the actual porn star oiling for dancing for money to advertise their OnlyFans, it seems Twitch is unsure how they want to try and keep those big sub drivers without fully losing advertisers like Nintendo. Yeah. I agree. I would add more to that, but I agree with you. It's this corporation trying to God damn it. It's this corporation trying to capitalize on this thing, and they can't figure out how to do it in a way that is not only effective, but doesn't piss people off. Capitalism. It's like aliens, but worse. I want to make money off everyone, not realizing someone's just anti-ethical to the other. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. Twitch became a new Discovery Channel. A lot of kiddos learned a lot of that stuff really fast. Yeah, they did. That's why I watch people play Bloons. That's right. Because this is not a political channel. We don't do that here. I think that everything has a time and place to be talked about. And right here on my channel is not the place that I want to have those discussions. Millennials. I'll obviously talk about my own personal ethics, but I don't want to devolve into talking about what I think is right and wrong politically. I tried desperately not to, but then you get really comfortable talking, and then you just sort of like go into things like when people like ask questions and stuff, and then you're like, wait, no, that's not something I want to talk about. Like, I just want to talk about games and talk about playing games and talk about the things that I like, my hobbies like D&D and that sort of stuff. That's why monkey. That's why people want to have like Discords and stuff. Talk about the pork butt we smoked last night. You smoked a pork butt last night? Oh, I missed. Shit. I need a new mouse. My left click either doesn't or double clicks. And it's really fucking aggravating. But you guys smoked a pork butt last night? That sounds amazing. I want it. I want to eat it. Don't get political with anyone. No one's real savvy on talking anymore. It's all arguments. Here for D&D and memes at this point. Same. I can speak to things that I feel morally, you know, but I can't speak to things that I feel politically because I'm not educated enough on certain topics to talk about certain topics. So Thursday night, Zach started at like 10 and let it go. Fuck, I'm coming to your house. Oh, mouse do I use? I use a Razer Death Adder. I just got paid yesterday, and after my bills come out, I think I'm gonna go pick up a new one. It's been a good mouse. I've had it since I got this computer, or since I built this computer. But I've just used it a lot. So good. Pulled pork sandwiches, a coleslaw, mac and cheese, and baked beans. Oh my god. All right, I might show up to your house sometime in the next day or two. Big fan of buttons, so I use a Logitech with a bunch of side buttons. I don't like Logitech. I don't like their products. I know that people use them and people swear by them and people are like, oh yeah, Logitech are real good. And like, maybe they are, but everything I've ever had that's been Logitech either falls apart or doesn't work the way I want it to. I also like buttons, but I also haven't played PC long enough to be like, oh, I've got all of the muscle memory, because I primarily played on controller for years because I was too poor to have anything else. So like I don't have the muscle memory to be able to like, oh yeah, and then I hit my left mouse button on my pinky, or like I flex my hand this way and get this sort of thing. So I'm like, I got my two side buttons, I got my DPI buttons on the top, left, right click, and the mouse wheel that is also a button, and that works for now. But I fully respect people that use those big fucking mouses, because it's technically mouses. If it's a computer thing, it's mouses. If it's the animal, it's mice. I learned that the other day. I respect people that use like the big ones that have like all the buttons and like all the things, and they like hit the thing and it does like the 5,000 things, and that's like, wow, that's, can't believe you can keep track of all that, but you know, hell yeah, brother. But for me, I try to stick as simple as possible, because I get playing games and my brain is just like, do the thing, and I'm like, oh fuck, what button was that? Shit. Keyboard is finally starting to go. It's a good 6 years old. Dude, that's good. That's good for a keyboard. It'll last a nice long time. 6 years is a good amount of time for a keyboard. Death Adder for life. 2 thumb buttons. I agree. I use my 2 thumb buttons a lot. Console kid, when I play most PC, so just map buttons to my mouse, so I don't have to stretch my hands. Yeah, same. Okay, this military only might kick my ass, just because of the shape of the map. Right here's a blind spot. Right there is a blind spot. That's okay.